All right, so the presentation today on the discussion is based on the uh, concept or story related to the 20-year-old patient Lacey and her husband Tyler following her injury. One of the first questions that this discussion talks about is relating to the four themes from the McLeod reading. The first theme, the dyadic relationship life patterns influenced through caregivers' roles and responsibilities. One of them, the main concepts related to this theme, is the role about being a new independent, kind of getting out of that mutual dyadic relationship that they've been through in this new territory. And so, from the reading that Tyler says, or based on an interview from Tyler, he does state that he doesn't know how to be a husband. So, this might signal how he is kind of branching out from that relationship that they've had for all these years and like his specific roles, but now he's kind of really identifying what roles he's going to be having to do while she's healing up. The second theme, life patterns of caring for self and others, were altered. One of the factors from the reading that this talks about is time limitations. And so, of course, he talks about in his interview about worrying about having children and giving up some of the hobbies. So that kind of indicates like that he's worried about, what kind of impact does this have on their timeline, working together, or working on their relationship together. The third theme, life patterns of certainty and knowing, were limiting. One of the aspects about that one is limiting the activities outside the home. So, of course, as mentioned for the previous theme about worrying about giving up those activities that they were so into, like frisbee and just being more active. So now in this caregiver role, he is concerned about giving up those activities. So that could be stressed in this third theme. Now, in terms of about themes that doesn't resonate with Tyler, I think the theme 4, which is awareness of life pattern gave meaning, new perception of life left to live. Now, what he's going through a bunch of like emotional roller coaster and trying to understand the situation and grasp it. And I feel like he's gonna learn as time goes on, but I feel like this is too early to know about learning more about himself and knowing about what the future is in terms of how he's gonna live. So I feel like he hasn't said anything that might resonate to that theme particularly. And so on the following question also has, how does the phenomenon of young male caregiver differ to an older one? So from the reading, what they talk about is the young caregivers, they have greater worries about spending quality time with their children while being caregivers. So they're worried about those time constraints, not being able to complete extracurricular activities with their children, spending quality time with them. That's one of the greatest worries for the young caregivers versus the older, who are kind of more experienced and know how to time manage and don't really have those kind of same responsibilities that a young caregiver would. And now, in terms of the situation, what would be the ultimate goal for the nurses to work with Tyler in terms of the theory of elevated consciousness? And so one of the key quotes from the theory of elevated consciousness that I think I should bring up, it talks about how every person, every situation, no matter how disorganized, disordered, and hopeless it may seem, it is part of the universal process of expanding consciousness, process of becoming more of oneself or finding greater meaning in life. So this is the kind of, Tyler's going through this situation, and this is where he's going to learn more about his personal strengths and weaknesses. So no matter, it is kind of our role to help him find those strengths and weaknesses, work on those weaknesses, offer that hand to kind of improve, and hopefully he'll get to learn more about himself. And that's part of what Margaret Newman was kind of branching on with this theory. And so, like I said, for our ultimate goal is to pretty much help him learn more about himself, be that resource, and help him kind of learn along the way. And so now, after the 2-week stay, What intervention can we do to help Tyler with the maladaptive and adaptive patterns toward the expanding consciousness? When we think about maladaptive methods of um, maladaptive behaviors, we could think about um, ideas such as avoidance, social withdrawal. So we don't want him to kind of back away from social activities. We want him to kind of be open and be open to gaining help, just not kind of seclude himself in a ball, and we want him to have that self-esteem boost. We don't want him to have low self-esteem based on where he feels he just can't do it, um, or give up. In terms of adaptive behaviors that we could help with Tyler would be changing the expectations. We want to make sure that he understands the level of growth that she will go through, or the level of healing, what stages she's going to go through. So we want his expectations to be realistic, and not where we're going to say, oh, she's going to be fine in a few weeks. We just want to take it step by step, but also we want to change his thoughts related to the situation. He's been very gloomy about the whole thing, just feeling guilty, feeling upset, or not wanting to hurt her feelings. We want him to have this whole different change of mindset towards the situation, to help him into that idea of expanding consciousness. And then what kind of behavioral statements would we see that might indicate more extensive support is needed? That would just be based on how their emotional state is. Are they capable or coping at home? Are they following the recommendations? Is she doing the PT? We just need to see how her healing is going, how their emotional states are, both his and hers. Do they need additional resources, social work? We just want to see what kind of additional help they need, and are they going through the correct progressive stages.